Yes, okay, you're going to say something.
So, listening to you, sir, the idea of what I feel would be the ideal solution would be to provide CNG converting kits to all public transportation as a means to crashing transportation.
Price,
but do you believe that in doing that, Nigerians will get the effects immediately? Or what would be the timeline? Because what the government is trying to address is that immediate relief to Nigerians.
Yeah, that's why I said the palliative is not really it's just immediate pacifier. Now, the CNG could be rolled out. As I said, I was in the meeting last night on this with NITT and the Ministry of Transport, where, I mean, we decided that, although because they've been working on it, what they will do is to get the buy-in of almost all the petrol stations. What is 55,000 going to do in Nigeria? Then if you convert, people don't get to where to buy. It's a problem. So, I mean, 3 months, if we put our hearts to it, 3 months, we'll be able to, because they've trained so many who can do the conversion. Yes. And it's not rocket science. People have gone to, I mean, NIT sent some people to abroad. But as we are speaking, some of their, NIT's Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology. So they've been working on it. It's not, it is their forte. Yeah. And federal government has them. So, as I said, 3 months. Then NIPCO, the petrol station, you know NIPCO, is already dispensing it. In some offices. Yes, it has one in Abuja, 1 or 2 in Lagos. The reason is that you must make it ubiquitous. It must be everywhere for people to approach it. So all these efforts we are diverting into nothing that will change anything. It's like, stay with your pain. I mean, you'll be taking this Panadol, but we won't cure what is wrong with you. So, I mean, that is our basic way out. Then there are other little ones. One, we have to crash or remove totally the VAT, the duties on petrol for now. On diesel, because last month or last 2 weeks ago, it was just announced that another 7.5 on diesel import. Now they should be removed in order to make the thing not to be jumping up. Then two, you have to cure the problem of naira volatility. And naira volatility is in what they did by bringing in 3 billion. And it did that. They should be able to bring up to 10 billion in order to defend. You see, because it's so easy to defend naira now because you need plenty, a basket full of naira to purchase dollar. So they will need also to do a campaign of productivity. Somebody said it in this campaign that we have to move from consumption to production. That will defend the naira, because once you are able to strengthen the naira, you will be able to
definitely, but that doesn't happen overnight.
Yes. So my question now is, so I've heard you talked about palliatives just being something that does not really address the problem, but you also say it's necessary politically and socially. And because I'm trying to think of a scenario where the subsidy removal, the floating of the currency, and there's no palliative. What would that mean? You know, what would that look for Nigeria? Human angle, human interest. How would Nigerians stay, and for how long would it, would they have to go through that? And now that we have the palliatives, my dilemma also, or question I feel like it's a dilemma, is, are we not spending too much on palliatives that the gains from taking it will be lost? So, go ahead.
You have answered part of it, in the sense that, and that's why being here for me is like a mission, to say that we are getting distracted away from solving the problem because then another problem, there are 2 problems about it. Whether palliative is a short-term measure that is not going to address anything.
But it's expensive.
But because of who we are, I agree with you that if I'm in government, I will do palliative. But what I will do as a palliative is a salary award. Because it cannot be mismanaged.
So that salary award doesn't get sometimes to, well, I guess,
informal
when
sector.
when they tell you that they have 12 million, is it 12 billion, 12 million Nigerians who are going to be recipients of this, you now think, okay, if you look at the civil service, they might not be enough to trickle down. That's one. Some might argue that, you know, the production that you said earlier, the same government said that they're going to give billions of naira to manufacturers to revive the textile industry. So they also identify that production is important, but it's not going to happen overnight. Now, the immediate term which I was trying to take from what Mariam was saying is that, listen, the suffering was so bad that people needed something just to buffer up, at least to be able to, because they couldn't even go to work. So this was like something to, at least there be food on the table. People kept saying it, give Nigerians food. If they have food, at least they can still survive. So it was something to buffer until then. Hopefully then they can have longer lasting
I said it's a theorem that palliative is necessary.
Yeah.
I won't say it's not necessary because Yoruba says "Anyangbe aja dun." For non-Yoruba speakers, if you want to fry a dog to eat, you have to be eating something else because it's too fatty and it will take a longer time. So, but the point which she made, which I agree with, is that we should not, in the end, get missing. And that is so fixated on palliative that does not touch anything. For example, the food does not evaporate. It's not that the food evaporated. What happened is that the cost of bringing it has gone up.
Okay.
So it's not that the food disappeared, but the food are getting rotten in the village because the cost of bringing it is far outstripped. So by now buying food to distribute, you are addressing just a symptom. You are not addressing. Then you are talking of bosses. We say that it's not just even the big bosses. I mean, the other thing that I said is that remove VAT on right from Keke to Korokwe to all commercial buses. Let the cost of it come down. And maybe you give it to their cooperative. So as to, you must not lose your sight on the ball. That what happened is that the price of transportation has gone up. So how do we bring it down for everybody? Now, what's the real problem? Salary award is that it will pacify labor because labor is now getting agitated. If you do not attend to them in the next 2 weeks, they will crash this country, and that will be more painful. And you see, look, the drivers, immediately they did the increase, they adjusted their transportation costs. Immediately. You cannot adjust your salary. And the salary you are earning hands off in their pocket. The woman selling dodo has adjusted. The woman selling this thing has adjusted. People are adjusting their school fees.
But Labour is also having a conversation with federal government on this review of salary.
Yes, that's what they are demanding as one of their top priority. That as an immediate answer to, because all this buying food, you are not going to give to workers. The workers that cannot get to work. That's why many institutions are now saying come 3 days in a week. Because don't lose focus. The cost of transportation is what is the beginning of everything.
Okay. So let me let you jump in here.
MSMEs, business owners, are also part of those bearing the brunt of these effects. And when we speak about the government having more sustainable measures for palliatives, as against giving palliatives, now I'm thinking that there are already businesses that are existing that need expansion, and in that way they're able to employ more people. So rather than waiting for the government to set up those things by themselves, is it possible that they work with already existing business owners?
Correct.
That
in the I mentioned that even if you want to do the magic of crashing the price below where we were, you must bring all the petrol stations. That's medium scale.
Yes.
Now, the lower scale, you can bring them up by asking them for the conversion. Then too, you see, the medium scale business person will thrive as long as he has demand for his product. And he has people who will pay for his services. Exactly. He will charge appropriately and will get money. You see, the problem of distributing money to these people is the iniquity in it. Who are those people? How do you pick your 5,000? How do you pick it? That's why, even initially within APC, they refused to dispense the World Bank $800 million loan because they said they are not sure, they are not so confident in the register of the people they will give it to. So, because we are Nigerians, we know who we are. This money will not go to those who defines poverty, at what level. And it is established that in the rural area, 60% of people who are really poor do not have bank account. So you are not transferring to the real poor of the poor. You are transferring to those who are smart and those who have a link. I do not have listened to those who organize the register. They have some points, but for me, this was developed by World Bank, supported by this. But right here at home, Nigerians are no beggars. Let the farmers be able to go back to the farm. And that's why I said, when the president was campaigning, I said, this is it. It is this money. So rather than just give money out, assemble 1 million boys or the retired people, give them this money, give them the guns, let them secure us. Immediately the nation is secured, then we mentioned that we have to fast track the rollout of the... Then you have to go and beg your uncle. If we need to buy another 5%, we have 20%. The uncle, you know the uncle. Look, he must roll out quickly. We cannot wait anymore. Okay, uncle of your view, what is the problem? Okay, we have this money from this now. Take 5%, which will be part of our share of your company. We want you to roll out by September so that we have this. Then the Kaduna refinery, go and fix it. December is too far off. This is where all the money should be going. Not, buy food. It's to me, we have missed the way completely. And that is the problem. When you are trying to dodge a real situation and you are not doing subterfuge, you get sucked into the subterfuge. And that is what is happening now. Then there is what I call the big elephant in the room, although that is a long time. Our ethics and values, we are having problems with that. But I just want the government to put it as part of their agenda, that the ills of this country cannot be cured until we start addressing our values and ethics. It's a problem.
With the people.
Massive national. That is the big elephant in the room. So for me, security. Look, if you don't give anybody any money in this country, if you are able to secure,
we will find our way.
People will go to their farm and eat. Then all the food that is getting rotten in the village will come to the town.
Sir, God bless you. The wisdom, this is your wisdom. Because what you have said today, I will just pray for you. Your wisdom will not go down. Because you've helped us to identify, you've helped all our viewers to identify what the real problem is. They say in solving problem, you look at all your list of problems and you look at the one that, if I solve it, would have most impact on others.
Transportation
is the cost of transportation
must be crashed.
Security.
But there was a part where they said that they're giving us 3,000 buses between now and March. So you're saying that it's not about the increase in number, because I believe that we still need CNG buses specifically, because that's what they promised. Those they already come. They don't have to convert. So the ones we have right now, even the logistics of converting might actually be very, very difficult.
Government is not good in that business. There are symmetry of failures on that. It's only Lagos that is trying to get it right with their PPP formation. You see, what we are saying is that the money they are going to, why you see to crash the money you are charging on the import, so that Morayo can also import this CNG and do it as our own business. So many people will be able to buy in. Rather than, you see, because what is happening in government now, if you are not very careful, is that people just want to award contracts. I want to buy 10,000.
Rewarding the system.
Give power to the people and reduce the cost. For example, if 7.5 you are charging on diesel, now remove it and say the money we are making from this thing, we are putting it so that people will now buy diesel a little less. Then we are going to put it. I don't want the regulation to come back. So, but there are things like the government itself said it, that there are little adjustments you can make that can still keep the price steady. Then one of the biggest, this thing is to defend the Naira solidly.
Yes,
because if Naira is defended, it will still be profitable for us to be, for private sector to be importing fuel lower than what it is. Their major headache is getting the dollar. So the summary is, look, let us not get our eye off the ball and get into the social pretense of palliatives. Because these rice are there, these yams are there, the maize are there. Why it is that the people cannot feed is because people cannot get it.
We have to wrap up, sir. Thank you very much. I think we've learned quite a bit from this today.
Yes, we have.
And we hope our viewers are able to have a better understanding. We apologize to those who we were told that people were disconnected from the station. We do apologize to can watch us online. But thank you, sir. It was a pleasure.
Always.
That is all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.